What if I tell you that the secret of effortless financial breakthroughs is not about harder work, endless hustling, or chasing every opportunity, but about aligning with a force within you that quietly generates wealth while you move through life with ease? In this video, I will reveal how you can tap into this hidden current, feel it in your decisions, and create results that seem almost magical, and how mastering this can transform not only your bank account but your sense of freedom, purpose, and joy, ensuring every action you take multiplies with purpose and impact. I will reveal the mindset, the practices, and the subtle shifts that make wealth flow naturally. I will reveal the overlooked patterns that successful people use without ever advertising them. And I will reveal how to recognize opportunities the moment they appear so that your financial breakthroughs feel inevitable. This is where it begins, in the quiet space of your mind, where belief and imagination meet, waiting for you to acknowledge their power and let them direct your reality effortlessly. This is how it unfolds, with your thoughts no longer acting as obstacles but as precise instruments shaping tangible abundance. This is where truth breaks through, revealing that scarcity is an illusion crafted by habit, while wealth is an extension of alignment. This is why it matters, because when you understand this principle, struggle becomes optional and results become predictable. This is where illusion fades, as you begin to recognize that effort alone cannot compete with clarity, focus, and inspired action. This is the turning point, where fear of financial inadequacy dissolves into confident expectation. This is where perception reshapes reality, making doors appear that you did not even know existed. This is how awareness multiplies income, not through constant toil, but by attuning to the subtle signs of profitable possibilities. This is where energy meets strategy, and every step feels guided yet unforced. This is why your imagination is the most valuable currency, producing ideas that compound into wealth faster than any conventional method. This is the moment when patience and intuition converge, allowing financial breakthroughs to arrive in perfect timing. This is how alignment transforms small actions into monumental results. This is where your beliefs about money begin to rewrite themselves into patterns of abundance. This is why observing your emotions around wealth becomes more important than tracking every transaction. This is where you begin to see that effortless financial breakthroughs are less about what you do and more about who you become. This is how gratitude acts as a magnet, pulling opportunities toward you with invisible force. This is the turning point where the concept of struggle is replaced by effortless flow. This is where clarity breeds confidence, and confidence produces results. This is how the invisible rules of prosperity work, quietly rewarding those who align rather than chase. This is where the first spark ignites, setting the stage for a journey that will reveal every hidden principle behind effortless financial breakthroughs, ensuring that by the end, wealth no longer feels distant but inevitable. Can you imagine stepping into a space where every thought you have about money begins to harmonize with the reality you desire, creating a magnetic field that attracts opportunities without forcing them into existence, as if the universe itself conspires to place wealth directly in your path? This is where it deepens, because alignment is not simply thinking positively, but tuning into the subtle currents that govern success and abundance. This is how it unfolds, as you start noticing patterns in your life where ease and flow already exist, revealing a blueprint for financial breakthroughs that has been present all along. This is where awareness sharpens, showing that effort without alignment often produces stress, exhaustion, and missed chances. This is why timing becomes effortless, because when your energy resonates with the outcomes you desire, opportunities arrive naturally, perfectly synchronized. This is the turning point, where you recognize that inner resistance is the only true barrier between you and your financial goals. This is where discipline transforms into intuition, guiding you to decisions that feel inspired rather than forced. This is how subtle shifts in perception create tangible changes in income streams and wealth accumulation. This is where the hidden mechanics of prosperity become visible, not through complicated strategies, but through the effortless application of aligned thinking and feeling. This is why gratitude is not just a practice, but a conduit, turning awareness of what you already have into a force that amplifies everything you receive. This is where you begin to feel the energetic signature of financial flow, sensing it in moments of clarity, choice, and inspired movement. This is how patience integrates seamlessly with action, allowing you to respond rather than react, and to seize opportunities before they pass unnoticed. This is where your imagination ceases to be idle and becomes a precise tool for sculpting your wealth. This is why releasing attachment to outcomes is crucial, because the more you cling, the more you disrupt the effortless current that carries abundance. This is where courage emerges, not as reckless risk, but as trust in the invisible orchestration of success. This is how your daily habits begin to resonate with effortless expansion rather than mere survival. This is the turning point where small, consistent alignment compounds into exponential results. This is where clarity around your desires allows you to recognize the opportunities already knocking at your door. This is how effortless financial breakthroughs transition from theory to lived experience, as you embody a state of readiness that the universe responds to instantly. This is where the dance of intention and reception begins, creating a rhythm in which wealth flows naturally, inevitably, and without struggle. Picture for a moment the immense force hidden within your beliefs, the ones you rarely examine, because they silently dictate whether financial breakthroughs appear as miracles or impossibilities. And notice how effortlessly aligned belief can transform hesitation into decisive action without strain or anxiety. This is where it begins, as you realize that belief is not wishful thinking, but the blueprint that shapes every outcome in your financial life. This is how it unfolds, showing that even the smallest conviction, when consistently held, triggers invisible chains of events that lead to tangible wealth. This is where understanding dawns, revealing that doubt is the heaviest anchor preventing you from sailing smoothly toward abundance. This is why cultivating belief becomes your most powerful daily practice, surpassing any strategy, technique, or skill. This is where alignment and expectation merge, producing a magnetic pull that draws financial opportunities directly to you. This is the turning point, where fear of failure diminishes because belief outweighs circumstance. This is where your inner dialogue shifts, steering your focus from scarcity to inevitable growth. This is how imagination acts as a rehearsal space for your future, allowing your mind to inhabit a state of already having, which transforms outcomes effortlessly. This is why consistency matters more than intensity, as persistent belief creates momentum that cannot be resisted. This is where the subtle energy of confidence begins to ripple outward, influencing every decision, every conversation, every action you take. This is how your perception starts to detect possibilities that were invisible before, revealing pathways to wealth that feel predestined. This is where surrender and control converge, as you learn to trust the natural unfolding of opportunities while remaining consciously engaged. This is why the stories you tell yourself about money either confine you or free you, shaping reality with invisible authority. This is where inspired action replaces forced effort, moving you closer to breakthroughs without exhaustion or stress. This is how the alignment between thought, emotion, and expectation multiplies financial results exponentially. This is the turning point where the invisible current of abundance becomes undeniable, and you feel it guiding you step by step. This is where the quiet power of belief begins to outperform any external strategy or advice. This is how effortless financial breakthroughs are no longer abstract ideas, but living experiences, unfolding naturally as you embody certainty. This is where the secret reveals itself fully, that the wealth you desire is already responding to the state of mind you cultivate. This is how mastery of belief transforms ordinary life into one of extraordinary financial ease, readiness, and flow. Now consider this. The difference between frantic busyness and inspired action is not effort, but alignment. And when you learn to move from intuition rather than compulsion, every step toward wealth feels natural, purposeful, and almost inevitable. This is where it begins, as you notice that opportunities rarely require brute force, but appear when you are attuned to subtle prompts and inner guidance. This is how it unfolds, revealing that effortless breakthroughs occur when preparation meets receptivity, not when determination meets resistance. This is where clarity becomes your compass, directing actions that produce exponential results while avoiding wasted energy. This is why timing synchronizes perfectly with intention, allowing doors to open at the exact moment you are ready to walk through them. This is where trust in your instincts replaces fear of mistakes, guiding you toward decisions that feel light yet yield massive returns. This is the turning point, where action and alignment merge, creating momentum that feels like it carries you rather than being pushed. This is how focus transforms scattered efforts into precise, high-impact moves that attract wealth naturally. This is where patience strengthens resolve, showing that every action aligned with your vision compounds effortlessly over time. This is why overthinking is replaced by inspired choice, allowing your mind to navigate the landscape of opportunity with ease. This is where confidence anchors every decision, giving you courage to act decisively while staying relaxed. This is how momentum builds invisibly, unseen by those who rely solely on struggle and persistence. This is where small, deliberate actions trigger cascading effects, producing results far greater than conventional effort would predict. This is why the universe rewards readiness, responding instantly to the clarity and intention behind your actions. This is where the friction of doubt dissipates, and every step forward feels like a natural extension of your inner purpose. This is how inspired action becomes habitual, creating a rhythm where financial breakthroughs appear as the natural consequence of alignment. This is the turning point where resistance loses its grip and you begin to move with the flow of opportunity effortlessly. This is where discernment replaces hesitation, guiding you to the most fruitful avenues for growth and profit. This is how wealth transitions from a goal to a lived experience, arriving through effortless and precise movement. This is where the secret of financial breakthroughs reveals itself as the seamless interplay between belief, alignment, and inspired action, producing results that feel both astonishing and inevitable. Suppose you discover that opportunities are not scattered by chance, but flow to those who are energetically and mentally aligned, and that by cultivating presence and receptivity, you can begin to sense the currents that guide wealth toward you effortlessly. This is where it begins, as you start noticing patterns in your daily life, where favorable circumstances appear almost magically when you are in harmony with your vision. This is how it unfolds, showing that the world is constantly offering chances to grow financially, but only those attuned can recognize them. This is where awareness sharpens, allowing you to differentiate between distraction and genuine opportunity. This is why discernment becomes essential, because effortless breakthroughs depend on choosing wisely and not on acting on every impulse. This is where timing aligns perfectly, revealing that the universe delivers exactly what is needed when you are ready to receive it. This is the turning point where patience is rewarded with the arrival of opportunities that far exceed your expectations. This is how intuition becomes your compass, directing you toward paths of least resistance and maximum gain. This is where preparation meets receptivity, creating a state in which success flows rather than is forced. This is why observation of your surroundings and relationships reveals hidden channels for wealth that were previously overlooked. This is where clarity transforms randomness into pattern, allowing you to act with precision and confidence. This is how momentum gathers as small recognitions and timely actions compound into tangible breakthroughs. This is where trust replaces struggle, and the effort once needed to force results becomes unnecessary. This is why being attuned to subtle signs of opportunity accelerates outcomes in ways conventional strategies cannot achieve. This is where you begin to see that abundance is not earned solely through effort, but drawn by alignment with the natural flow of life. This is how gratitude enhances receptivity, magnifying the arrival of opportunities beyond expectation. This is the turning point where every decision resonates with purpose, multiplying effects that appear effortless. This is where patience and awareness converge, creating a rhythm in which breakthroughs manifest with elegance and speed. This is how the hidden flow of opportunity transforms your financial reality into one of continuous, effortless expansion. This is where the secret becomes undeniable. Wealth responds to alignment, focus, and the skillful navigation of the currents that always surround you. Envision a world where your ability to create and deliver value becomes the invisible magnet that draws wealth toward you effortlessly, as if the universe itself rewards contribution rather than struggle. This is where it begins, when you realize that money naturally flows to those who provide solutions, guidance, and transformation without forcing recognition. This is how it unfolds, showing that abundance is a reflection of the impact you create, rather than the hours you invest. This is where understanding deepens, revealing that true financial breakthroughs are rooted in the consistent offering of value aligned with your unique strengths. This is why clarity about your skills, knowledge, and passions becomes a decisive factor in effortless wealth creation. This is where opportunity converges with preparation, amplifying your reach and influence in ways previously unimaginable. This is the turning point, where focusing on giving rather than grasping attracts financial returns naturally and exponentially. This is where your mindset shifts from scarcity to abundance, knowing that contributing more inevitably brings more in return. This is how momentum grows, as each act of genuine value sets off a chain reaction of trust, loyalty, and reciprocity. This is where timing synchronizes with your readiness, so that breakthroughs appear precisely when your contribution is needed most. This is why confidence in your abilities accelerates outcomes, allowing you to step into larger roles and responsibilities without fear. This is where inspired action aligns seamlessly with opportunity, producing results that feel almost preordained. This is how small, consistent expressions of value compound into extraordinary financial breakthroughs. This is where gratitude magnifies impact, reinforcing the natural cycle of giving and receiving. This is the turning point where effort transforms into flow and influence becomes effortless. This is where the invisible laws of attraction reveal that wealth responds to the energy of contribution more than to hard work alone. This is how strategic alignment with your strengths creates leverage, multiplying results without multiplying effort. This is where the ripple effect of value spreads beyond immediate gain, opening doors to unexpected channels of prosperity. This is why mastery of giving creates freedom, allowing you to navigate financial growth with grace and ease. This is where the magnetism of value becomes a constant current, drawing breakthroughs towards you effortlessly and continuously. Think of the moment when you realize that wealth behaves like a living current, responding not to pressure, but to the frequency of your thoughts, emotions, and actions, and that by consciously tuning yourself, you can attract financial breakthroughs as naturally as gravity pulls objects toward the earth. This is where it begins, as you notice that your inner state precedes every external result, revealing a law of cause and effect invisible to most, but undeniable once experienced. This is how it unfolds, showing that money is drawn to clarity, confidence, and expectation far more than to force, worry, or desperate striving. This is where understanding deepens, exposing that your vibrational alignment with abundance acts as a magnetic field, pulling opportunities, resources, and collaborators toward you effortlessly. This is why attention to your beliefs and feelings about wealth is paramount, because subconscious resistance can quietly repel the very breakthroughs you seek. This is where patterns emerge, illustrating how consistent visualization, affirmation, and emotional alignment generate results that appear almost instantaneous. This is the turning point, where you start noticing coincidences, connections, and moments of serendipity that are direct reflections of your inner state. This is where inspired choices replace blind effort, as your awareness guides you to act only when energy, timing, and intuition converge. This is how focus sharpens, creating an invisible current that organizes chaos into opportunity. This is where patience becomes effortless, as trust in the unfolding process removes urgency from the equation. This is why your imagination acts as a rehearsal space for reality, allowing wealth to manifest in alignment with what you have already felt and seen. This is where energy meets intelligence, producing results that no amount of brute effort could replicate. This is how subtle emotional shifts amplify momentum, turning small alignments into cascading breakthroughs. This is where surrender to the natural flow replaces pushing against resistance, allowing money to arrive without struggle. This is the turning point where the invisible architecture of abundance becomes perceivable, revealing a system that always works for those who align. This is where your expectations shape outcomes, attracting circumstances, people, and resources that match your internal state. This is how effortless attraction translates into measurable financial gains, proving the reliability of these principles. This is where awareness of vibrational alignment becomes your most potent tool for sustained breakthroughs. This is why every thought, feeling, and intention matters, because the frequency you broadcast determines the quality of wealth you receive. This is where the science of effortless attraction reveals itself as both art and mechanism, guiding you into a life of consistent, natural, and extraordinary financial flow. Ask yourself what happens when your emotions no longer resist wealth, but instead become a powerful channel that draws financial breakthroughs naturally, transforming every desire into a living signal that aligns the world around you. This is where it begins, as you notice that excitement, calm, confidence, and gratitude amplify your ability to attract money far more than stress, fear, or desperation ever could. This is how it unfolds, revealing that emotional mastery is not suppression, but conscious cultivation of states that magnetize abundance. This is where clarity deepens, showing that each emotional vibration resonates outward, shaping the circumstances, people, and opportunities you encounter. This is why awareness of inner feeling is as crucial as any strategy, because without it, even the most intelligent actions may fall flat. This is where subtle shifts in mood transform ordinary choices into pivotal steps toward effortless breakthroughs. This is the turning point, where patience blends with passion, creating a rhythm in which wealth flows in perfect timing. This is where inspired joy becomes a tool, guiding you toward decisions that feel light, yet yield monumental results. This is how resilience strengthens, allowing you to maintain high-frequency states despite temporary setbacks or uncertainty. This is where focus sharpens, making every thought and action intentional and aligned with the financial reality you desire. This is why gratitude operates as a magnet, turning awareness of what is already present into a force that draws more abundance. This is where tension dissolves, and every effort begins to feel natural, rather than forced. This is how emotional intelligence bridges the gap between desire and manifestation, allowing breakthroughs to emerge effortlessly. This is where alignment between feeling, thought, and action produces momentum that compounds quietly but powerfully. This is the turning point where fear loses authority, replaced by a deep knowing that the universe responds to your energetic signature. This is where the quality of your emotions becomes the blueprint for the quantity of wealth you attract. This is how flow replaces struggle, turning ordinary routines into effortless channels of financial growth. This is where the resonance of your inner world dictates the speed, ease, and magnitude of breakthroughs. This is why mastering emotional flow is not optional, but central to effortless financial breakthroughs. This is where the invisible rhythm of prosperity becomes tangible, allowing you to experience wealth as a natural extension of your emotional mastery. Consider the possibility that your surroundings, the people you spend time with, and the spaces you inhabit all act as invisible forces shaping your financial reality, amplifying or diminishing your ability to experience effortless breakthroughs. This is where it begins, as you notice subtle shifts in energy when you are around abundance-minded individuals compared to those stuck in scarcity, revealing a powerful truth about influence. This is how it unfolds, showing that aligning your environment with your financial goals is as crucial as aligning your thoughts and emotions. This is where awareness sharpens, allowing you to identify sources of distraction, doubt, or negative energy that quietly block the natural flow of wealth. This is why deliberate cultivation of space and relationships becomes essential, because your external world reflects and reinforces your internal state. This is where clarity deepens, as you start to surround yourself with inspiration, knowledge, and momentum that accelerate your breakthroughs. This is the turning point, where small adjustments in environment yield disproportionately large results in income, opportunity, and confidence. This is where energy begins to synchronize, creating a resonance between your inner world and outer circumstances that attracts effortless financial flow. This is how patterns of influence emerge, showing that mentorship, collaboration, and proximity to success act as catalysts for breakthroughs. This is where discernment becomes your ally, helping you filter out distractions and focus on what truly amplifies growth. This is why your surroundings should reflect the financial reality you wish to inhabit, acting as a silent partner in manifestation. This is where intentional exposure to wealth-minded ideas, communities, and experiences accelerates learning and opportunity. This is how momentum compounds invisibly, as aligned energy draws resources, connections, and insights toward you. This is where the turning point occurs, as you realize that environment is not passive, but an active participant in creating effortless breakthroughs. This is where influence and alignment merge, allowing external circumstances to support rather than resist your financial trajectory. This is how clarity about who and what you allow into your space becomes a strategic tool for success. This is where energetic resonance transforms ordinary moments into opportunities for growth and wealth creation. This is why maintaining consistent alignment in your environment produces sustained breakthroughs with minimal struggle. This is where the invisible flow of energy guides your decisions, interactions, and priorities naturally toward abundance. This is how mastering your environment magnifies every internal shift, making financial breakthroughs not only possible, but inevitable. Now consider this: the moment when timing aligns perfectly with strategy, effortless financial breakthroughs begin to appear as though orchestrated by a hidden intelligence, showing that knowing when to act can be just as vital as knowing what to do. This is where it begins, as you notice that even the most brilliant ideas produce minimal results if executed out of rhythm with the currents of opportunity. This is how it unfolds, revealing that strategy without timing is wasted energy, and timing without clarity of action is equally unproductive. This is where understanding deepens, showing that preparation, insight, and patience converge to create moments when breakthroughs arrive naturally and dramatically. This is why observation becomes critical, because those attuned to subtle patterns in business, markets, and human behavior can move decisively when the moment is ripe. This is where clarity sharpens, allowing you to discern between fleeting trends and sustainable opportunities that multiply results. This is the turning point where hesitation fades, replaced by precise, confident action, guided by both intuition and insight. This is where your internal rhythm synchronizes with external events, creating a flow in which outcomes manifest effortlessly. This is how small, calculated steps accumulate into monumental breakthroughs when applied consistently over time. This is where focus and discipline intersect, ensuring that every decision is aligned with long-term abundance rather than short-term gain. This is why flexibility and adaptability enhance strategy, allowing you to pivot gracefully as opportunities evolve. This is where pattern recognition empowers you to anticipate and act before others see the possibilities. This is how preparation amplifies readiness, turning ordinary effort into extraordinary results with minimal struggle. This is where momentum builds invisibly, each aligned action attracting complementary forces, resources, and collaborators. This is the turning point where timing becomes an invisible ally, multiplying the impact of every move. This is where patience and courage coexist, enabling you to wait for the precise moment while maintaining readiness to act. This is how strategic thinking integrates with flow, producing results that feel inevitable yet astonishing. This is where clarity about priorities directs energy efficiently, removing wasted effort and maximizing breakthroughs. This is why understanding the rhythm of opportunity separates those who struggle from those who achieve effortless financial flow. This is where the secret becomes undeniable. Mastery of timing and strategy transforms ambition into reality, creating a life where wealth arrives naturally and continuously. Envision a world where your focus acts like a laser, cutting through distraction and noise, and consistency becomes the engine that multiplies every effort into financial breakthroughs that seem to arrive effortlessly. This is where it begins, as you notice that small, disciplined actions repeated daily create invisible momentum that compounds quietly yet powerfully over time. This is how it unfolds, revealing that wealth is rarely the result of single dramatic events, but emerges from sustained alignment and attention. This is where understanding deepens, showing that clarity of purpose amplifies results far more than sheer effort or random activity. This is why consistency becomes the bridge between intention and manifestation, transforming abstract desires into measurable financial outcomes. This is where focus sharpens, allowing you to prioritize what truly moves the needle and release what does not. This is the turning point where the rhythm of persistent, aligned action turns obstacles into stepping stones for growth. This is where patterns of excellence emerge, guiding you toward habits that multiply impact effortlessly. This is how compounding works, not only with money, but with influence, relationships, and opportunities, creating a holistic flow of abundance. This is where patience integrates seamlessly with effort, as long-term alignment produces results beyond immediate understanding. This is why repetition of intentional action builds mastery, which in turn accelerates breakthroughs naturally. This is where clarity of goals enables precise allocation of energy, magnifying both speed and quality of outcomes. This is how momentum becomes self-sustaining, as each success strengthens belief, confidence, and alignment simultaneously. This is where the invisible threads of preparation, strategy, and action converge, producing effects that feel instantaneous yet are rooted in consistent practice. This is the turning point where focus transforms from a conscious effort into an effortless state, guiding you without strain. This is where alignment between thought, emotion, and action compounds, creating breakthroughs that appear inevitable. This is how each day becomes a building block, contributing silently to long-term financial flow. This is where consistency enhances intuition, allowing decisions to feel inspired rather than forced. This is why mastery of focus and repetition unlocks doors that knowledge alone cannot open. This is where the compounding force of deliberate action creates a life in which financial breakthroughs arrive naturally, continuously, and without struggle. Suppose you discover that the people around you are not just companions, but conduits for opportunity, and that every connection, every conversation carries the potential to accelerate your financial breakthroughs effortlessly. This is where it begins, as you notice how aligned relationships amplify your energy, open doors, and attract resources in ways that isolated effort never could. This is how it unfolds, revealing that influence is not manipulation, but the natural result of trust, value, and authenticity radiating from your presence. This is where understanding deepens, showing that networks act as mirrors, reflecting back opportunities and perspectives that elevate your thinking and expand your reach. This is why strategic alignment with mentors, collaborators, and like-minded individuals becomes essential, creating a fertile ecosystem for abundance. This is where clarity emerges, helping you identify who truly contributes to your growth and who drains energy, allowing you to optimize your environment for effortless breakthroughs. This is the turning point, where collaboration multiplies results exponentially, transforming ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes. This is where influence becomes reciprocal, as the value you offer attracts support, insights, and opportunities in a continuous flow. This is how intentional engagement with the right circles accelerates both skill and financial growth naturally. This is where subtle shifts in communication, presence, and generosity produce measurable outcomes in wealth creation. This is why trust and credibility serve as invisible currencies, unlocking opportunities that money alone cannot access. This is where observation of others' patterns teaches shortcuts, allowing you to navigate challenges with wisdom and precision. This is how energy alignment within networks creates a resonance that magnifies every effort you make. This is where the turning point occurs, as relationships evolve from casual contact into strategic bridges for financial breakthroughs. This is where your inner state influences external perception, attracting collaborators who resonate with your vision effortlessly. This is how consistency in value and presence compounds, producing trust, loyalty, and influence over time. This is where timing intersects with connection, making each introduction and collaboration an opportunity for monumental growth. This is why relationships, when nurtured consciously, become multipliers for every aligned action you take. This is where the unseen web of influence guides resources, insights, and opportunities directly to you, creating a life where financial breakthroughs feel inevitable. This is how mastery of networks and influence transforms effort into flow, producing abundance effortlessly and continuously. Envision a reality where scarcity is no longer a lens through which you view life, and every limitation dissolves as your mind opens to the infinite possibilities that surround you, allowing financial breakthroughs to occur effortlessly. This is where it begins, as you notice how deeply ingrained beliefs about lack influence decisions, opportunities, and even your ability to receive. This is how it unfolds, revealing that shifting from scarcity to abundance is less about acquiring more and more about realigning perception to see what is already present. This is where understanding deepens, showing that fear of loss or limitation quietly blocks the natural flow of wealth, no matter how skilled or strategic you are. This is why awareness of internal narratives becomes vital, because the stories you tell yourself manifest outwardly in financial outcomes. This is where clarity emerges, allowing you to consciously replace limiting beliefs with expansive, empowering ones that magnetize opportunity. This is the turning point, where letting go of comparison and competition opens space for effortless flow. This is where abundance becomes your default expectation, influencing thought, emotion, and action with precision. This is how mental alignment transforms challenges into opportunities, revealing solutions that were invisible under scarcity thinking. This is where gratitude amplifies perception, allowing you to see potential wealth in overlooked places. This is why mindset, more than skill or knowledge, determines the ease with which breakthroughs occur. This is where habitual expectation of growth replaces worry, creating a ripple effect of confidence and action. This is how subtle mental shifts compound over time, producing outcomes that feel preordained, yet astonishing. This is where belief in limitless possibility informs every decision, guiding you toward high-impact opportunities effortlessly. This is the turning point where old fears lose influence, and optimism becomes a tool for strategic advantage. This is where the invisible architecture of thought aligns with external opportunity, turning intention into reality with grace. This is how clarity of mind produces clarity of result, removing the friction that slows financial breakthroughs. This is where every mental adjustment reverberates outward, shaping networks, timing, and opportunity in harmony with your vision. This is why mastery over scarcity thinking is central to effortless wealth, allowing breakthroughs to manifest with elegance and speed. This is where the secret of abundance becomes undeniable. Freedom, opportunity, and financial flow respond directly to the expansiveness of your mind. Envision a world where your inner voice acts as a compass, effortlessly directing you to the decisions, opportunities, and people that generate financial breakthroughs with ease, and where hesitation is replaced by confident alignment with unseen forces. This is where it begins, as you notice subtle nudges, gut feelings, and quiet insights guiding your choices before logic or circumstance even weighs in. This is how it unfolds, showing that intuition is not mysticism, but a refined perception of patterns, timing, and alignment that others often overlook. This is where awareness sharpens, revealing that those who succeed effortlessly do not rely solely on effort but on tuned-in guidance that streamlines their actions. This is why listening becomes more valuable than pushing, because every inspired action carries the potential to compound results far beyond ordinary effort. This is where clarity emerges, helping you distinguish between fear-driven impulses and genuine intuitive signals. This is the turning point where trust in your inner guidance replaces doubt and overanalysis, creating a flow state where decisions feel natural and outcomes arrive smoothly. This is where momentum builds invisibly, as following intuition aligns you with opportunities that seem serendipitous, but are actually precise reflections of your internal state. This is how subtle shifts in attention and awareness amplify the power of intuition, transforming small insights into major breakthroughs. This is where alignment of thought, emotion, and gut feeling accelerates outcomes while reducing wasted effort. This is why cultivating stillness, reflection, and presence enhances your ability to hear and act on intuitive signals. This is where timing intersects perfectly with instinct, producing results that feel effortless, yet deeply earned. This is how trusting your inner wisdom attracts mentors, collaborators, and resources that resonate with your vision. This is where the turning point occurs, as reliance on intuition transforms struggle into flow and indecision into clarity. This is where inspired risk replaces reckless action, allowing you to step confidently into opportunities that others overlook. This is how alignment with intuition ensures that breakthroughs are not forced, but naturally drawn to you. This is where discernment becomes effortless, guiding you to the most lucrative and aligned pathways. This is why intuition, combined with alignment and focus, serves as a supercharged accelerator for financial growth. This is where the invisible orchestration of circumstances feels almost preordained, confirming the accuracy of your inner guidance. This is how the mastery of intuition transforms ordinary choices into a continuous stream of effortless financial breakthroughs, creating a life of precision, flow, and abundance. Picture for a moment your imagination as a lens through which reality bends, where every vivid thought and mental image begins to shape circumstances, creating financial breakthroughs that feel effortless and inevitable. This is where it begins, as you notice how clear, detailed visualization brings opportunities, connections, and solutions into alignment with your desires. This is how it unfolds, showing that imagination is not idle daydreaming, but a precise tool for rehearsing and manifesting wealth. This is where awareness deepens, revealing that your mind constantly broadcasts signals to the universe, attracting experiences that match the clarity and intensity of your inner vision. This is why focus on what you want, rather than what you lack, becomes the key to effortless flow. This is where energy aligns with intention, turning mental rehearsal into real-world manifestation. This is the turning point, where consistent envisioning of success rewires your perception, making obstacles appear as opportunities rather than barriers. This is where belief and imagination intersect, creating a magnetic field that draws the resources, people, and situations you need. This is how subtle emotional coloring of your visions amplifies their effect, infusing desire with conviction and expectation. This is where alignment between your internal world and external action produces momentum that feels natural and effortless. This is why imagining outcomes with precision accelerates breakthroughs far beyond conventional effort. This is where clarity of vision informs inspired decision-making, guiding every step toward your financial goals. This is how imagination bridges the gap between the possible and the actual, turning abstract ideas into tangible results. This is where the turning point occurs, as your internal landscape becomes a mirror for external abundance, shaping reality with subtlety and power. This is where repetition of vivid visualization compounds, embedding the blueprint of success deeply into your subconscious. This is how your imagination integrates with alignment, focus, and action to produce breakthroughs that feel preordained. This is where expectation transforms into experience, making wealth appear as a natural consequence of your inner state. This is why mastery of mental imagery is central to effortless financial breakthroughs, multiplying results with minimal effort. This is where the invisible threads of thought, emotion, and vision weave a tapestry of continuous abundance. This is how the amplification of vision and imagination ensures that your financial breakthroughs arrive smoothly, powerfully, and without struggle. Can you imagine harnessing every action, relationship, and resource in a way that multiplies your results exponentially, creating financial breakthroughs that feel effortless and beyond ordinary effort? This is where it begins, as you notice how strategic leverage transforms small inputs into massive outcomes when applied consistently and intelligently. This is how it unfolds, revealing that compounding influence allows one decision, one connection, or one inspired effort to ripple across multiple areas of wealth creation. This is where understanding deepens, showing that multiplying your impact is less about working harder and more about directing energy with precision. This is why recognizing leverage points becomes crucial, because every aligned action can generate returns far beyond its apparent size. This is where clarity emerges, helping you focus on high-impact activities and relationships that accelerate your financial trajectory. This is the turning point, where strategic delegation, collaboration, and resource allocation magnify results effortlessly. This is where momentum compounds, as each breakthrough creates further opportunities that expand naturally and continuously. This is how subtle shifts in timing and influence can produce outcomes that appear almost miraculous to observers. This is where mastery of leverage integrates with alignment, belief, and inspired action to produce effortless flow. This is why understanding the multiplicative effect of your energy, ideas, and connections is more powerful than brute effort alone. This is where each step forward acts as a catalyst for larger breakthroughs, amplifying both speed and scale. This is how networks, vision, and focus combine to create compounding influence that continuously attracts wealth. This is where the turning point occurs, as you realize that one well-placed action can change the trajectory of an entire project, opportunity, or life. This is where alignment ensures that leverage produces results that are both sustainable and harmonious. This is how compounding influence transforms ordinary contributions into extraordinary financial returns over time. This is where strategic thinking becomes effortless, guided by the natural flow of opportunity and intuition. This is why those who master leverage experience breakthroughs that feel inevitable, consistent, and powerful. This is where subtle energy alignment magnifies every interaction, turning effort into a multiplier of success. This is how the principle of leverage ensures that wealth creation evolves from labor-intensive struggle into effortless, expansive flow. Think of the moment when obstacles no longer feel like barriers, but become catalysts for growth, and every challenge transforms into an opportunity for effortless financial breakthroughs. This is where it begins, as you notice that setbacks only have power when you resist them, and letting go allows flow to resume naturally. This is how it unfolds, revealing that resilience is not about enduring struggle, but about bending, adjusting, and responding intelligently to changing circumstances. This is where understanding deepens, showing that adaptability magnifies every advantage and ensures that opportunities are never lost. This is why shifting perspective is essential, because what appears as a problem can carry hidden keys to acceleration and wealth. This is where clarity emerges, helping you recognize patterns and challenges that guide more effective decision-making. This is the turning point, where flexibility replaces rigidity, creating an effortless rhythm between action and reaction. This is where every obstacle becomes a teacher, offering lessons that compound into long-term financial mastery. This is how emotional strength and calm focus amplify problem-solving and attract solutions that feel almost preordained. This is where intuition works hand in hand with resilience, guiding you to pivot at the perfect moment. This is why persistence without adaptability often leads to stagnation, while smart adjustment multiplies results. This is where energy alignment ensures that challenges catalyze growth rather than drain momentum. This is how small, deliberate shifts in strategy convert potential setbacks into breakthroughs that compound naturally. This is where the turning point occurs, as your confidence in navigating uncertainty becomes a magnet for opportunity. This is where every challenge met with calm focus strengthens your ability to manifest wealth effortlessly. This is how mastery over resilience and adaptability transforms pressure into momentum, producing outcomes with grace rather than force. This is where each experience, whether easy or difficult, contributes to a continuum of breakthroughs that flow naturally. This is why those who embrace change and remain flexible achieve results that seem effortless compared to those who cling to rigidity. This is where the invisible alchemy of adaptation turns every twist of fate into a stepping stone toward abundance. This is how resilience, aligned with strategy and intuition, ensures that financial breakthroughs continue to arrive smoothly, powerfully, and without struggle. Envision a life where every achievement, large or small, is met with gratitude and celebration, amplifying your ability to attract effortless financial breakthroughs and creating a magnetic field of abundance around you. This is where it begins, as you notice how acknowledgement of progress, even in subtle ways, fuels momentum and aligns your energy with prosperity. This is how it unfolds, revealing that appreciation acts as a multiplier, transforming ordinary successes into powerful catalysts for larger breakthroughs. This is where awareness deepens, showing that a mindset of gratitude shifts perception from scarcity to abundance, opening pathways previously unseen. This is why celebrating wins strengthens belief, confidence, and expectation, all of which are essential for effortless flow. This is where clarity emerges, helping you recognize that acknowledgement is not superficial, but a signal to the universe of your readiness for more. This is the turning point, where each moment of gratitude compounds, creating an energetic rhythm that attracts wealth naturally. This is where joy and appreciation harmonize with inspired action, producing outcomes that feel preordained yet astonishing. This is how subtle expressions of celebration elevate your vibration, increasing receptivity to opportunities and resources. This is where momentum is reinforced, as every positive acknowledgement fuels subsequent breakthroughs with minimal effort. This is why gratitude accelerates alignment, ensuring that your internal state consistently matches the reality you wish to manifest. This is where the turning point occurs, as conscious appreciation transforms daily life into a continuous cycle of abundance. This is how celebration becomes a tool for amplifying focus, clarity, and inspired action, producing effortless results. This is where your energy resonates with possibility, drawing high-impact opportunities and allies into your sphere. This is why cultivating joy in the present moment multiplies the power of vision, belief, and strategy. This is where acknowledgement of achievement reinforces internal confidence, making future breakthroughs feel inevitable. This is how gratitude integrates with momentum, intuition, and alignment to produce financial outcomes that flow naturally. This is where the turning point happens, as you realize that the act of celebration itself attracts more to celebrate. This is why the atmosphere of gratitude transforms ordinary effort into effortless breakthroughs, creating a life of ease, abundance, and continual expansion. This is how appreciation, aligned with focus and inspired action, ensures that every financial breakthrough compounds gracefully, powerfully, and without struggle. Ask yourself what it would feel like to move through life in a state where financial breakthroughs happen continuously, effortlessly, and naturally, as if abundance were simply the air you breathe. This is where it begins, as you notice how alignment of thought, emotion, action, and environment creates an unbroken current of opportunity. This is how it unfolds, revealing that when every principle, clarity, focus, intuition, value, environment, gratitude is integrated, wealth flows without resistance or strain. This is where understanding deepens, showing that effortless flow is not passive, but an active harmony with the currents of life. This is why consistency and alignment and inspired action becomes the invisible engine that produces continuous breakthroughs. This is where clarity sharpens, making each decision precise, timely, and highly impactful. This is the turning point, where patience, vision, and momentum converge to create a rhythm that feels natural and unstoppable. This is where the energy of abundance becomes your baseline, guiding thoughts, choices, and relationships in perfect resonance with financial success. This is how small actions compound continuously, creating an expanding wave of prosperity. This is where intuition, gratitude, and celebration reinforce each other, magnifying both speed and magnitude of breakthroughs. This is why those attuned to flow experience wealth as a constant, effortless expansion rather than sporadic gain. This is where resilience, adaptability, and leverage amplify every opportunity, converting potential obstacles into accelerators. This is how vision and imagination shape reality seamlessly, guiding action in alignment with desires. This is where networks and influence provide exponential support, connecting you to the right people, ideas, and resources at the right time. This is the turning point where effort is replaced by elegance, and struggle gives way to smooth progression. This is where alignment of all internal and external forces creates an ecosystem where financial breakthroughs emerge naturally. This is how clarity of purpose, mastery of emotion, and strategic action combine to produce consistent results beyond conventional expectations. This is where the invisible architecture of wealth becomes visible in daily experience, confirming the power of alignment and flow. This is why living in continuous effortless flow transforms ordinary ambition into extraordinary reality. This is where all principles integrate into a living system that ensures financial breakthroughs arrive with grace, power, and inevitability. Consider the possibility that you are now standing at the threshold of complete mastery, where every principle, practice, and insight converges to create a life in which financial breakthroughs occur effortlessly, continuously, and naturally. This is where it begins, as you feel the culmination of clarity, focus, alignment, intuition, value, leverage, gratitude, and flow harmonizing into one unstoppable force. This is how it unfolds, revealing that mastery is not about more effort, but about perfect integration, where action, emotion, and environment work in seamless synergy. This is where understanding deepens, showing that each breakthrough is both a reflection and amplification of your internal state. This is why alignment becomes the foundation, allowing every choice, every interaction, and every intention to multiply results naturally. This is where clarity sharpens, revealing patterns of opportunity, energy, and influence that previously went unnoticed. This is the turning point, where patience, consistency, and inspired action converge to produce outcomes that feel effortless, yet profoundly powerful. This is where the energy of abundance saturates every thought, decision, and movement, magnetizing wealth with precision and ease. This is how imagination and vision act as guiding beacons, shaping reality to match your highest financial aspirations. This is where gratitude and celebration amplify flow, creating a magnetic field that attracts more reasons to give thanks. This is why networks, mentorship, and strategic influence continue to multiply your results without additional strain. This is where resilience and adaptability ensure that even challenges become accelerators, reinforcing momentum and alignment. This is how the principle of leverage compounds every effort, creating exponential growth from small, deliberate actions. This is where intuition guides every decision, ensuring that breakthroughs arrive at precisely the right time and in the right way. This is the turning point where mastery replaces struggle, and the effort once required for success becomes an effortless rhythm. This is where all forces, internal, external, mental, emotional, and energetic, align in continuous harmony. This is how financial breakthroughs cease to be sporadic events and instead become an ongoing expression of your highest alignment. This is where your life becomes a living demonstration of effortless wealth creation, inspiring others while sustaining your own abundance. This is why mastery is the ultimate freedom, allowing you to navigate life with grace, power, and certainty. This is where the secret of effortless financial breakthroughs is fully revealed. That wealth, opportunity, and success are not won, but naturally drawn to those who integrate clarity, alignment, and inspired action into every facet of their being.